Well, there was another lively start today, but it didn't take quite as long for the breakaway to form around 25 kilometres. 12 men getting into the move, and none of them posed any major threat to the peloton. The closest on GC was Harold Tejada, nearly 12 minutes down on Vingegaard, but at any rate, the bunch were keeping them on a tight leash. Among the dozen riders at the front were several who've already been in the breakaways at this Vuelta, notably João Nicolau, number 7 for him. Tejada, Sergio Cimitière, Luca van Boven and Gijs Leemreizer have also been active over the past fortnight. Well, none of the breakaway riders had actually won a Grand Tour stage before, although Antonio Tiberi did come 5th overall at last year's Giro d'Italia. Unfortunately for the Italians and his fellow escapees, this didn't look like a breakaway day. Visma Lease Bike setting a high tempo in the bunch for Vingegaard, with the gap never really exceeding 2 minutes. The pace remaining high, and it was too much for some, notably Mads Pedersen in the green jersey. It looked like we were indeed heading for a GC battle on El Mortadero. After going for the points at the intermediate sprint, Van Boven and Timo Rosen opened up a small gap on the rest of the breakaway, but the Belgian and the Dutchman were quickly reeled back in. The riders heading through Ponferrada, site of the 2014 World Championships, and the road began to rise as they approached the final climb, with the peloton closing in. Tiberi made a move with 23 kilometres to go, and only Tejada was able to follow him. The Italian and the Colombian leading a group of 3 chasers, Leemreizer, Cimitière and Jonas Gregaar. The rest of the breakaway were dropped as they entered the final 20 kilometres, with the peloton now around a minute and a half behind. Well, just before the final climb, Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe took over the pacing duties in the peloton, working for their 2 leaders, Jai Hindley and Giulio Pellizzari. The gap coming right down before they'd even hit the official start of the climb, and it was now only a matter of time for the breakaway.
The race comes back together. One rider in the lead now, but the breakaway is caught by the team of Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. That acceleration that happened has completely demolished the breakaway. Only one rider remains now at the front.
Well, that rider was Cimitière, who was duly swallowed up with 12 kilometres to go. They finally made their way onto El Mortadero with just under 9k remaining, and the relentless pace was starting to sting the legs. Visma back on the front and cutting the peloton down to a group of favourites, with Sepp Kuss, Egan Bernal and Junior Lecerf all saying goodbye. Felix Gall, the man sitting 6th overall, also lost contact. Jai Hindley, though, was looking strong, and after a sudden acceleration from the Australian, Almeida was briefly distanced. No panic though, the Portuguese rider coming back at his own pace with Pellizzari and joining Hindley, Pidcock, Vingegaard and Riccitello up at the front. Well, we were expecting a scrap between Vingegaard and Almeida, but it was the outsiders who were landing the blows. Pellizzari also attacking for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe and getting a small gap with 3.5 kilometres to go. Riccitello, the Italian's nearest challenger for the white jersey, tried to bring the group back, but he was being closely marked by Hindley. Almeida was struggling to hold the wheel at times, but he hung in there, with Vingegaard also not looking at his very best. Hindley just keeping a close eye on Riccitello as his teammate Pellizzari continued to open up the gap. The Italian closing in on a famous victory, while the other GC riders would sprint for the remaining bonus seconds on the line.
He is reaching the crest of this mountain. Giulio Pellizzari, the rider from Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, the white jersey of this race. Pellizzari sees the gantry now. This is a big moment in this rider's career, his first ever win, and it's a win in a Grand Tour. Giulio Pellizzari, attack now of Tom Pidcock, he jumps away. Vingegaard tries to go with him, so does Hindley, and Pidcock is looking for second place and some bonus seconds. Pidcock fires to the top of the mountain as well, he's second. Hindley takes third, behind them Vingegaard, then it's João Almeida.
Giulio Pellizzari landing his first career victory in some style, beating some of the top climbers in the world on El Mortadero. The 21-year-old was denied by Tadej Pogačar at last year's Giro before finishing 6th overall at this year's edition. And today's win is surely the first of many.
I think it's the best moment in my career, short career until now, and yeah, today I had a strange feeling. I felt a bit that today was my day, and I need to thanks to all my team, my teammates, Jai of course. Today we fight for takes the podium, and we didn't take, but I think that is not over.
Pellizzari becoming the first Italian to win at this Vuelta, with Pidcock and Hindley taking the remaining bonuses. Vingegaard also gained a couple of seconds on Almeida. The Danes' lead is back up to 50 seconds, with Pidcock still over 30 seconds clear of Hindley. Matteo Jorgensen climbs into the top 10, ahead of Junior Lesurf. Well, João is still sitting pretty in polka dots. With one mountain stage to go, he has a 20-point advantage over Vingegaard. And Pellizzari has increased his lead over Riccitello in white. He is now 1 minute and 8 seconds ahead of the American. Tomorrow is a crucial day, the individual time trial, which could have a major impact on the outcome of this race. Join us for that on Thursday, and thanks for watching.